This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What a throwback. I mean, come on, The Matrix, that movie was crazy when it came out. But I have to bring Morpheus into this conversation today because, of course, we're talking about pills and Tableau. And these aren't the kind of pills that are gonna get you in trouble when you try to go to Burning Man. That's right, this information is even legal in Nevada. We're talking about different types of data and how they're represented in Tableau. We have quantitative data that we're trying to represent, and we show it as broken down by discrete and continuous values. Inside of Tableau, that's represented by blue and green pills. For the next couple days, we're going to dive deep into this, and we're going to start by talking about discrete information today. So let's start with a real-world example of wanting to roll a pair of dice. When we think about dice, there's two different values that can come out of two dice, but they're limited to values of 1 through 6 per die. Think about it at the craps table.
All right, this is for you, big time.
There's just only so many results that can come out of rolling the dice.
Hard 6, that's a hard 6, old timer. That's not bad for me.
You're gonna get a result between 2 and 12. You can't get anything else because the dice limit the discrete values that are going to be returned. Another thing that we could use as an example of a discrete data type would be something like how many patients are being treated by a hospital each year. This number is discrete because each individual person stands for their own data point. We can't have more than one Homer Simpson, and we can't have half a Ned Flanders. You see, when we're talking about patients at the hospital last year, each of them are their own discrete individual patient. Well, hang on, Tim. I think that there could be multiple Homers, right? That did happen one time. Well, that's true, but each of those Homers was their own individual Homer. There could be an infinite number of values that are returned, but they are all each their own individual value. That's what makes them discrete. So let's look at this back in Tableau. We're looking on my dimension and measures pane, and look at this. All these default property icons that we talked about, they're colored. So what color do you see? Well, you see blue and green. It's what we're talking about. So each of these different dimensions and measures is being defined as either discrete or continuous. So let's take that a bit further. In Tableau, often dimensions are going to be discrete. Dimensions often represent things like headers or labels. They're individualized values. They're groups of information. So let's look here. If I bring out product, I have things shown in like categories. And if I drill in deeper, we can look at things broken down by manufacturer or by individual product name. But each item is its own individual product. Each company is its own individual company. So my dimensions here are actually how I'm breaking apart the information, how I can start slicing against the data to see how it breaks apart by individual values, such as here product names. There's one last thing that I want to cover with you while we're talking about discrete data types, and that's discrete date parts. In Tableau, we deal with date parts when we want to talk about bucketed data. We want individual buckets of information. So let's talk about it like years or quarters where we want to see it broken out. We can see that here on my visualization. I've built a view where we're looking at years, and you see my sales broken out in individual buckets of information aggregated at the level of my year. If I wanted to change that, I could switch my date part to be set to a different level, say like a quarter. Okay, you see what happened there, but where'd my years go? How many years are represented within my quarters? Well, if I click back, you see my 4 years are actually aggregating into the quarter level. So my numbers, my aggregation of my sum of sales is actually now being represented in quarter buckets, Q1, Q2, 3, and 4. I could change this to month or day, and I could get my discrete parts broken out at different levels depending on what I need. But quarters is a common thing done in business. So are months. So if I do this is an aggregation of all of my Januaries that are represented in the data. Remember, we have 4 years in here, but when I switch it to the month level, all 4 Januaries are coming together. All 4 Februaries are coming together and aggregating to show me the value of my sales at the discrete part level. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on discrete data types. We'll be back with more on continuous data types next time here on Tech Desk Tidbits. See y'all soon. Take care. Be good to one another.